Hi everybody, welcome back to Cabin Crafts and Simple Living. And the other day I told you that I did have a craft for us to do for primitive pantry jars, and I have a whole bunch of them on the table. I can't get them all into the screen, but I'm going to show them to you and show you how to make them. And for those of you who have known me for a long time, yes, I did get a perm. I told the beautician that I only wanted a body wave because my hair takes a perm really easy, and I didn't want it to look like ramen noodles, and that's exactly what I got, and they are chicken flavored. So just so you know, yeah, you're not seeing things, and hopefully this will relax soon because I feel like kind of like Shirley Temple or Lucille Ball. I act like Lucille Ball when I'm not on camera. Everything I do turns into an absolute disaster. So anyway, I'm going to show you how, try to show you how to make these jars and the supplies that you will need. And I wrote myself a cheat sheet and I laid it out of reach. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to start with the jars. Now I have canning jars. These are just regular old canning jars. And this one, these three, I bought at Hobby Lobby. They are a canister set. So they are these kind of square looking jars. And you can buy these at Hobby Lobby as a canister set. So I did pay for these three. And I have coffee, sugar, and tea for these three. And then I have, this was just a small pickle jar. You can see how where the label was around there. And so this was a small pickle jar. And then I've got giant pickle jars. And these are the ones that you get at the Sam's or Walmart or whatever with the giant pickles in them. My grandkids love these giant pickles, and so I keep them on hand a lot, especially in the summer. They like to just eat them with a sandwich. I have a couple of those. Now this one, I thought it would be cute to put on your counter and put your Keurig, your K-cups in. And it would be on your counter and it would be in disguise. It says coffee. And I'm going to tell you about the labels and all that in a minute. These two jars, they have a little bail handle. And I bought these at an antique mall. It's the same kind of jar, but it's two different sizes. These were antique Clorox bleach jars. And so I bought these at an antique mall because I love anything with a bail handle, and I just thought these were so cute. And I'll talk about the labels in a minute. So if you don't have any of these kind of jars, you know, you can save your pasta jars. You can use canning jars that you have already at home, and do these jars. Now the main thing is, are you going to use them to store food? You don't want to store liquid food in these. I use them to store like beans and rice and pasta, dry things. Or like I said, you could put the K-pods in some of them. You could also use them to store sewing notions or any other little thing, ketchup packets or sauce packets that you save from fast food restaurants. If you don't throw those away, they wind up in the little door of your fridge. You can put them in one of these jars. So that's the kind of jars that I use. And so now we're going to get to the paint or the supplies. So you need jars, obviously. You are going to need, and I left it at the store, but a jar or a spray can of Rust-Oleum primer spray. That's that rusty color primer spray, just primer spray. And then I have this Rust-Oleum multicolor or multicolor textured. I don't know if you can see the lid, but it has a stony flexy texture to it. And that's what these jars are sprayed with. And they have that primitive texture to them, like you've seen on some of the jar candles that they sell in colonial primitive shops. But you don't have to get out your spices and make a mess. Then you're going to need, and you don't have to, but if you want to spray your lids, I used the Rust-Oleum hammered, and this is, what color is this? Silver. It's just silver, but it looks like a zinc lid to me. And so I sprayed my pickle lids with this. Uh-oh. Did my video stop? No. I sprayed my pickle lids with this just to cover up if you're wanting to show them. If you're going to put fabric over them, which we'll talk about that in a minute, you won't need to spray your lids. Or if you've got flat black at home or whatever you want to do, you can do it or you don't have to do it. You're going to need scissors, and you're going to need some Mod Podge and a paintbrush, or watered down glue, Elmer's glue. You're going to need some masking tape, just cheap old masking tape. It doesn't have to be the expensive frog tape. And then I have this Tulip Color Shot. This is instant fabric color, and this is what gave me this, let me find a good one to show you here, this mottled beige on, I just used muslin fabric and then tied it with jute. And I sprayed this fabric with that, and it's fabric paint, so it's still soft. So you'll need some of that. If not, you can tea stain if you don't want to buy a paint, because this was probably not cheap and I've got a lot of it, but you could just tea stain or coffee stain your muslin to put on the tops of your jars. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is clean your jars thoroughly. So you want to wash them in hot soapy water, or even better yet, put them in the dishwasher. Make sure that you get all of the label residue off of your jars. You don't want any pickle, label residue left or anything like that. Just want to make sure that you get all of the residue off of your jars. After you do that, you're going to take rubbing alcohol on a cotton ball and wipe down the whole outside of your jar. Just completely wipe down your jar with rubbing alcohol, and that'll make sure to get any greasy residue whatsoever off of it. Now, if you put it in the dishwasher, you probably don't have any, but I just did it anyway. And you're going to want to do that. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your masking tape, and you want to tape around where the lid goes, because you do not want your lid won't screw on. Now you can see where I taped that off with masking tape. And you don't want paint up there, otherwise your lid will not screw back on. You don't want that to happen. So you're going to just masking tape it off with regular masking tape. And if you're going to put food in this, make sure you tape across too, because you don't want spray residue to get down into this. So if you're going to put rice, beans, pasta, anything that's loose, dry food, you don't want any spray paint residue down in there. And then then at the very end, you can peel your tape off. Now, I'm not going to go outside and show you how I did this, but I did a very light coat of the primer. And I mean light. I mean, it just kind of looks like barely covers the glass. You don't need to saturate it with primer. And then after you let that dry thoroughly, then you're going to come back in with your texture spray paint, and you'll have to hold it at a distance because this stuff sprays pretty far. Wear rubber gloves or whatever you need to do to protect your hands. And, just hold it by that. Oh my gosh, there was water in there. See what I mean? Where'd that come from? Welcome to the Lucille Ball craft show. Okay, I must have left that outside in the rain. Anyway, where was I? I swear. All I need now is my best friend Mary here with me, because we're like Lucy and Ethel when we're together. But I don't remember where I was, but you don't want to get this. Oh, I know. Hold it by the top to do the spray paint. So you'll need to have some gloves on to do this. And then when all of that is dry, then you can peel away. Let's hope this works on TV, okay? You're going to peel away that masking tape. And it's kind of sticking because I left this out in the hot sun. Yeah, isn't that lovely? Trust me, the other jars peeled off really nice because I didn't leave them out in the rain in the hot sun. But that peels away really nice. Not like this one. This is just a sample jar, so I'm not using this one because it got a bad damage spot on it. Anyway, it should look like this. Nice and clear and clean. And these all peeled away really nice because, like I said, I didn't leave them out in 5 inches of rain and 100-degree heat like we had this week. So after all of that is all dry, I have a nice wet piece of wax paper to work on. Isn't this just lovely? Okay, now we're going to talk about labels. So where did I get these cute labels? So you can get them several places. I ordered my labels from a company called Blue Cupboard Primitives. And it has on here which set you pick. They are online at bluecupboardprimitives.com. Or on Etsy, there are instant PDF printables from different label companies that you can buy, that you order it from Etsy, and they'll email you the download, and you just download and print them. There's colored labels on there, like old vintage seed labels. There's apothecary jar, old vintage apothecary jar labels, all sorts of vintage labels on Etsy. But like I said, I ordered mine from Blue Cupboard, and I've had these for several years. There is a Christmas set. There is this one. I've had these for years, and I've got a ton of them. But you can see this one's apple butter, pickled peaches. There's that sour mash whiskey, Woolens, Redfield peas, all sorts, okay? And then they have, if you want to make some cute jars for Christmas gifts and put like Christmas candy in them or something, they had Christmas labels. And this has got like little primitive feather trees. Just all kinds of cute Christmas blessings. Christmas goodies by Aunt Geraldine. That's cute. Eggnog. Christmas joy. You get the idea. There's some old Saint Nick pictures in here. Oh, there's lye soap. I don't know how that got in with my Christmas, but you can only imagine after watching the beginning of this video how clumsy I am. It's a wonder I get anything made, really. So anyway, I got my labels from Blue Cupboard Primitives. I've also downloaded a few, and like you can see, this is dry goods, buckwheat flour. And the whiskey ones sell really fast. I don't know why. I guess everybody's an alcoholic, maybe, except for me. But especially with George Washington on the front, because we love George. His whiskey label sells really well. And actually, George Washington was one of the biggest distillers of rye whiskey in the state of Virginia, in case you didn't know that. But his whiskey label sells really good. Anything that's Americana. I had a couple other Americana labels. Where was one? Oh, the Liberty Bell. Since we're in the bicentennial year, that was a cute label that I bought online as a downloadable printable. All right, well, I'm going to do one for you. Let's hope this turns out. So, I have Lincoln's pole beans, because we can't, Kentucky pole beans. We can't leave Abe out. So, I'm just going to take my Mod Podge. And you want to be generous with your Mod Podge, especially around the edges of your label. So I'm gonna, and you're gonna get this on your hands, especially if you're like me, a klutz. And just be really generous all around the edges. You're gonna get it on your thumb because you're gonna hold it down and just put Mod Podge all over that label. And then we're going to lay our jar down and try to do our best to center this. Now, I center it a little low because I put the fabric on there. Let me get my wet paper towel. And we're just going to, and like I said, this jar has a little bit of texture. So that's why you also want to be generous with your Mod Podge. And Lincoln was really cooperative. Thank you, sir. His label went on really well. And just, you know, burnish it with your hands. And after even a minute or two, it might kind of buckle. So go back and just make sure that you constantly go back and check them for a few minutes and that they're laying down nice and flat. So then we have Lincoln's Kentucky pole beans. And like I said, you can use these to store whatever you want. And I'm going to get this out of the way before I knock it over. And I'm going to put the lid on this before I knock it over and make a big glue mess all over my dining room table. And then, like I said, if you want to do the jars cover them with some muslin, all you got to do is just get, or even cute calico. It doesn't matter. It can be colored calico, stripes, checks, whatever you have. If you want it to match your kitchen, you can do that. But I used, because I wanted them to stay primitive, I just used this Tulip Color Shot. I think I got this at Michael's. I couldn't really find fabric color, but I've had this a few years, so Hobby Lobby might have it now if you don't have a Michael's near you and you have a Hobby Lobby instead. Or the easiest, cheapest way would just to be tea stain or coffee stain your fabric. And even if you have colored calico, you could do that. These would be cute with blue calico, I think, and it would match my kitchen. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this silly little tutorial. Trust me, I don't drink and I'm not on any drugs. This little primitive tutorial on canisters and canning jars and storing things, and like I said, just get you all different kinds of jars. This was a pickle jar. This I bought at the antique mall, these Clorox jars. I had to pay some money for those. I think they were like $10 and $12 for the big one. But I love the big pickle jars because you can store lots of big things in the big pickle jars. Put your K-cups in that one. That'd be cute. So anyway, enough said. Thank you all for watching. Bye.